Ladies and gentlemen, how's it going, and welcome back to a video on the Lowsey channel. And today we are back with my Premier League predictions for the 26-27 season. Oh, I can't wait for this season. I think it's going to be so competitive. Now, before we go to the episode, if you please like, subscribe and comment. If you hit the little I button up there, that'll take you to the last video about Newcastle United, so make sure you watch it. It was a decent video, I must say so myself, but let's get straight into the predictions. So, a couple of rules before we get into this. Trigger warning, there might be a few stinkers in here, but I'm trying to be a little bit different, okay? Because I could easily just put, little spoiler alert, I could easily just put the bottom, the top clubs coming up, straight back down, but I haven't. So on 20th, speaking of a newly promoted club, starting to spend a fair bit of money, but I just don't see the Premier League quality from what they've signed. I think they're going to struggle to stay up. It's Hull City. I think most people are going to put Hull in 20th, to be fair. Signed a good goalkeeper. They signed that kid from the World Cup, but who is he? Like, not to be like a dick, but I'm not quite keen. I see Hull City going down. Now, in 19th place, I've went with Crystal Palace to end their long-staying Premier League status. I put them to go down, and the reason I've put them to go down, I'll be completely honest with you. I know their manager won the French Cup, but I don't know much about them. First season in the Premier League, Palace played in Europe as well. I just don't really see them doing well. My hair's all over the place, I've got bad hair, but yeah. I just don't know, I don't really see Palace doing well. I mean, they've got rid of Brennan Johnson, both Dwight McNeil in, got Ismail Assar. Will Mateta go, will Mateta stay? I don't know. I'm not sure what's going to happen here. And that's why I put them to go down. Now in 18th place, a lot of people have actually tipped this team to stay up, but I'm putting them to go down. It's Coventry under Frank Lampard. I just don't think he'll do it. I think he's made some really good signings, like Aurel Amenda. I think he's a brilliant signing. But yeah, they've signed, who was the striker they've just signed? Taiwo Awoniyi and Sadiq Sharif from Fenerbahce. But yeah, I just don't think Coventry will stay up. I think they'll have a good goal though, and I think it'll be a couple of points. But I think you could easily put my team that's in 17th in Coventry, you could switch them. But in 17th place, I've got staying up in the division, Ipswich Town. Really like the business Ipswich have done so far. So like Issa Diop, Sasa Lukic, Maeda. I think they're making good signings. They're interested in Palacios from Bayern Leverkusen. I just think they're making good signings. And Gary O'Neill's kept the team up before with Bournemouth. Kept Wolves up. I just think Gary O'Neill has a bit of Premier League experience. I know Lampard does, but I just think Gary O'Neill has made the better signings for Ipswich, and I think Ipswich stay up this time around. But again, I wouldn't be surprised if Palace stay up and the teams that come up go down, but try to be a bit out of the box, see what happens. Now in 16th, the team I've got, a lot of people have actually tipped this team to go down, but I think they'll stay up. I've went with Fulham in 16th. Arbeloa, of course, he was really disappointing at Real Madrid. He shouldn't have been that bad as he was with Real Madrid, and there was fallout between players fighting, and Mbappe and Arbeloa seemed to be arguing, and a lot of shit went on. But yeah, I mean, they signed Gonzalo Garcia, Shea Charles, Palacios from Madrid. And then I quite like the Leno and goal. Castagna, I think will be alright. Cuenca, Joachim Anderson, Anthony Robinson, like Oscar Bob. I just don't, Kevin. I just in Iwobi, I just don't see that team going down, to be honest. They could do. And Arbeloa could really stink it out. Obviously, Marco Silva did wonders for Fulham, but I'm just going to back Fulham just to stay up this time. Now in 15th place, I've went with Sunderland. I've seen a lot of people having them 17th. I don't think they'll go down. The reason I've put them so low, because obviously they finished, what was it, 7th or 8th last year. I'm a Newcastle fan as well, and I'm not being biased, but the reason I think Sunderland will finish a lot lower this year is just because of Europe. As it stands, they've only signed Thomas Meunier, and they've agreed a deal to sign Methalaye, I think he's called, from Toulouse, for about 30 million euros. Good signing, but I just think I would expect Sunderland added about 6, maybe 7 players to the squad, but they haven't, and that's ultimately why I've backed Sunderland to finish 15th. I mean, to be fair, I think if you say to Sunderland fans you'll stay in the You'll have your away days in Europe, and you'll finish 15th in the Premier League. They'll take it. So 15th place, I've got Sunderland. Now in 14th place, a lot of people aren't going to like this. I've went with Everton. Hayden Hackney, I think, good signing. Signed Tyreek George on a permanent deal, but I'm just not sure about Everton. I don't think a defensive, because Jared Brantwaite can't stay fit. I'm not sure a team of Nathan Patterson, Tarkowski, Michael Keane and Mikalenko break into the top 10 of Europe. I don't see happening. We've got Merlin Roll, as I said, Tyreek George, Barry Beto, very inconsistent players. They haven't got Grealish back yet. I don't know if that'll happen now. It could do. I'm just not keen on Everton. NDI is of course good and always a game changer, but I think Everton will finish 14th. I don't think they've really improved the squad. I think Everton probably needed a striker, centre backs, a right back, and they just haven't done the business. So that's why I think Everton will finish 14th. Now in 13th, I've went with Leeds. Signed Trafford for £40 million, very expensive for Man City's backup goalkeeper last year, but he'll be a good keeper for them. Harry Wilson, decent signing. I don't think he'll set the world alight, to be honest with you, though. I think he had a really good season for Fulham last year, but one good season in one really good season within the 5-6 years he played in the Premier League. I don't think he'll be a world beater, but I think Leeds needed someone like him on the right. So he could do good, but I don't expect him to hit the heights of last season. But set pieces, you could get a few assists off that with Calvert-Lewin. Tyreek Mahudovic, I think he's called. The centre-back, solid signing. Really late that signing for Leeds. I think it'd be solid. And they've, of course, agreed a deal to sign El Devi from Mönchengladbach because they're selling Bawanu. So yeah, 13th for Leeds. Don't think it's a bad finish. Improvement on last year. I think they'll take that. Now in 12th, I went with Bournemouth. I could see Bournemouth. To be fair, I could see anyone from Sunderland to Bournemouth swapping around. Obviously, Bournemouth under Marco Rosa in the Europa League. I think they'll struggle this year, Bournemouth. I don't think they'll be the Bournemouth of the Iraola years because he worked miracles, in my opinion. He's a very top manager, and of course that's why he's got the Liverpool job. They've got a few good players, but will Marco Rosa be able to continue the levels of Iraola? I don't believe so. Especially with playing Europe now as well. There's a lot of question marks in my eyes. I should have done my bed today as well. It's very messy. I just got up with bed. I was like, I'm going to record a video. So yeah, sorry for the poor quality background. But yeah, Bournemouth, I think I kind of wish I put Bournemouth a bit lower now. But moving on to 11th, I went with Brighton and Hove Albion. However, I think Brighton win the Conference League. That's the one, yeah, Conference League. I think that's the one they're in. I think they'll win that and play Europa League football, but finish 11th. They've got a decent sized squad, so I think they'll be all right for Europe. But I think this league form will suffer. But I think they might get to a point where they are maybe in the quarterfinals of the Conference League, and you might think we've got a chance here. League form might dip, it might not, but I just think Brighton in 11th, and I think if you said to Brighton fans, finish 11th, win the Conference League. I know what they're taking. I know what I would be taking as well. Now in 10th, this is bias. I'm going with my team, Newcastle United. But only on the basis that Newcastle sign a fullback, which is Dedic. Deal's done. He's in Tyneside right now for his medical. A midfielder, so we'll be linked with João Paulinho, but I don't think that'll happen. But a good midfielder and maybe two more, and then I think we'll finish 10th because I think we have got a good squad. I think we just need 4 signings. So Dedic, midfielder. Maybe a winger and maybe a centre back, and I'll be happy. Or maybe a striker. But yeah, I've got Newcastle in 10th. Now in 9th, my surprise package for the season, under Ole Glasner, it's Nottingham Forest. I just think Forest have an all-round decent squad, to be honest with you. I think the striking department needs to improve, and I do think they'll sign a striker. But if I look at the team, like Matt Sells, decent. Milenkovic, Murillo, and that Ousmane Diamonde, unbelievable backline. Nico Williams, Oleana even. Who's even the midfield now? Because obviously Anderson left. Sangare. They've signed Schlager, James McAtee, Gibbs White, Callum Hudson-Odoi, Bakawar, and Doi. They've got a lot of players, and I think Ole Glasner will do really well. 1 game a week as well. Ole Glasner hasn't really been the best in the league for Crystal Palace when he was there. However, I believe that he'll do really well with Nottingham Forest, and I think that's what I think Forest might have. They'll probably be in the top 3 to get the best defense in the best defensive record in the league. I just had a notification there about Paulinho. I'm not going to read it yet though. Yeah, so I think they'll Nottingham Forest in 9th. Now in 8th, my surprise package to break Europe. They should have done it last season. Did bottle it a bit. I went with Brentford. Really impressed with Brentford in pre-season as well. They just beat Eintracht Frankfurt 8-0. But no, I like the additions they've made, to be honest with you. Like, people laugh at Jadon Anthony, but you've got to think that Atara, Thiago and Shada, I think it's a brilliant attack. And they've added to it with Callum Wilson to come off the bench. They've already got that Hugo, who they signed last year, Jadon Anthony, Keane Lewis-Potter. They've built on that, and I think that's really smart business. They've lost Jordan Henderson, but they've brought in a really good midfielder from the French league. I think it's called Senghor. Brilliant signing. Nathan Collins, Kelleher, Van den Berg, Rico Henry, Coyote. Like, they've got a really good team, so I really think Brentford will break it this year, and I think they went about the business quietly, which I really like. And look, this could really bite us in the arse. I can see it. To be fair, I could probably see anyone from Sunderland at 15th to Newcastle in 10th swapping. But yeah, I think Brentford in 8th place, and I think that'll be a brilliant season for Keith Andrews, who's done an amazing job. Now in 7th, bit of a transition for this team. Lost a few players, bought some really good players. I went with Aston Villa in 7th. Played in the Champions League, but they've lost Rodgers, Tielemans, Digne. Going to lose Emi Martinez because they're signing Suzuki. But then they've brought in João Gomez, Manzambi, potentially Suzuki by the time this episode's out. And there's a few more. Riguri, left back. So they've made signings, but I'm thinking who replaces Rodgers' goals. I'm not quite sure. They've also got Brian Maggio, striker, who looks brilliant for a 17-year-old. Scored against PSG in the Super Cup, but I think they're on a little rebuild. They're like Newcastle in my eyes. They're on a little rebuilding block, but they've managed to get the better players in because they're in the Champions League. So if it was the other way around, we probably would have got better players in because we win the Champions League, or at least Europe, but we're not. So fair play to them. Manzambi, a good signing, but I just can't see him filling the gap that Rodgers has left. I think he'll be good, different type of player. He's capable of scoring goals, but Rodgers is like world class. So I can't see him doing that. But João Gomez is a good signing. So I think he'll do a decent job as well. So yeah, Villa in 7th. That should be Europa League football. So I think they'll take that because they'll probably win it again if Emery would stay. In 6th, I was really tempted to put this team a little bit lower, just because I'm not keen on the manager and I'm not keen on the summer business. I went with Man United. Man United fans are going to hate that. And they've done me head in this window as well, talking about Lewis Hall and how he wants to join them. He just doesn't. Like, he's a boyhood Newcastle fan. Shut up. But yeah, they brought Andre Santos. Can't really judge him. When I've seen him for Chelsea, I haven't been massively impressed. But yeah, the Tielemans, that's a decent signing, but they haven't got legs in the midfield, so I just think Man U are going to get carved through this season. Luke Shaw, I don't think is good enough anymore. Right back, still a question mark in my eyes for them, but midfield definitely. I mean, if they go into the season playing Manu and Tielemans, there's no legs in that midfield. They need a defensive midfielder to come in, like a Manu Kone. They need someone like that to come in and help them. And if they don't, then I think Man U could be in trouble, and I think they will lose that Champions League position, which is a bit of a backward step. But moving to 5th place, maybe this is unpopular as well, but they haven't done enough business in my eyes to warrant a place in the top 4. I went with Liverpool. New manager, Iraola, brilliant manager. Can he make the step up? Unknown at the moment. Conceded quite a few goals in training, but they've signed Ronald Araujo. Did I say in training? In pre-season, they conceded a few goals, but they've signed Ronald Araujo from Barcelona on loan. Barcelona fans are actually happy to get rid of him. I don't think he's a world-class centre-back, but Iraola can probably make him look very, very solid, especially playing against Van Dijk. He'll be very happy with that. They've got Leone to come back from injury, Jeremy Jacquet to come back from injury, so defensively they're probably covered now. Right back, huge question mark in my eyes. Conor Bradley, long-term injury. Frimpong, just not a right back. He's a wing back, not a right back. Left back wise, Kirkes, I think they're fine there. Tsimikas signing a new deal. Midfield wise, McAllister had a really poor season. Gakpo's going to Spurs. They might sign Barcola. They've signed Munoz. Ekitike, a long-term injury. Don't know when he's back. Isak, can he stay fit? And he's just not showed the form that he showed at Newcastle. I think it's worrying for Liverpool fans, because I say you won the league 2 seasons ago now, to finishing 5th. I think it's a bit of a worry, Liverpool. But again, they could just go and make 3 or 4 really, really good signings, and that could just put them above this next team. I went with Spurs. I really like the business. I think Tonali is a decent signing. I don't think he's what they think, though. I mean, I've got a season ticket. I watch him for Newcastle. Sometimes he's really good at winning the ball back, but sometimes he's got like a hospital passing him. I don't think he's worth the 100 million they've paid, to be honest with you. But I think he definitely upgrades them. Matheus Fernandes, I don't think he's worth 85 million in the slightest, but he had a good season for West Ham. But again, the last 2 clubs he's played for, they've been relegated, so has he made that much of a difference? Question marks there, but I really like the defence. Van Hecke, Mickey van der Ven. I think that's solid. They've got Robertson to play with Udogie at left back. Pedro Porro had a brilliant World Cup. Kinski, looking like he's getting the number 1. Fair play, but they've got Dubravka, who's a solid keeper. I love Dubravka. They still apparently they're signing Gakpo, who I think will be really good under De Zerbi. I still think they need a striker because will Solanke stay fit? Who knows? And they've still got people like James Maddison to come back, Kulusevski to come back. So yeah, I think Spurs might get 4th. 1 game a week as well, of course. Liverpool, Man United, Aston Villa both are all playing Champions League. They'll probably go through the first couple of rounds of the Cup as well. Maybe not Man United because they got beaten in the first round both times last year, but Aston Villa, Liverpool, they're going to be playing less games. De Zerbi 1 game a week to focus on. I think De Zerbi will get them into the Champions League. Into 3rd place now. Really struggled with 3rd and 2nd. But I went with Manchester City in 3rd. And my logic is when I tell you the 2nd place team, it'll be 1 game a week. But the reason is they're losing Rodri. They've signed Elliot Anderson. Nico Gonzalez would have to step up for City, in my eyes. Buardi's coming in, but he's 18. Will he stay on loan or will he come to City permanently? But losing Rodri is massive in my eyes. And I know they didn't have Rodri last season and the season before for a long time, but they had Pep Guardiola. They've now got Enzo Maresca. And I don't think Enzo Maresca is a bad manager. Don't get us wrong. But yeah, I think they'll struggle. I think it's a different City. It's a different era now. Obviously, they've got Haaland, and Haaland's going to keep them at least in that top 3, maybe 2nd. And City could go win the league as well. Like, it's weird because I don't think the 2nd place team can win the league, but I think 3rd place can, which is very strange. But yeah, Elliot Anderson will have to step up, and he's a great player, and he will. But Nico Gonzalez will have to step up for them, and they'll have a few other players, of course, as well. Defensively, I still think they might be a bit of a worry under Maresca. But yeah, we'll see how it goes. They've got a world-class goalkeeper, one of the best strikers in the world as well. So Man City in 3rd, probably going to look like a tit after this at the end of the season. Now, the Premier League champions will jump to next. And my Premier League champions, again, I predicted it last year and I'm predicting it this year. Arsenal will win the Premier League. They've just did really good business, unfortunately. They've signed Bruno from Newcastle, gutting. It's going on the wall there. Yeah, the same Bruno. Bruno, why? Nah, the same Bruno. Got Declan Rice. Unbelievable midfield. Declan Rice will get his break this year. Zubamendi, Lewis Skelly, Tzolis on the left, Martinelli. They're probably going to sign a left winger. Link with Osimhen. Got Gyökeres, Saka, Madueke, Saliba, Gabriel. Link with Konsa or Quansah, one of the two. Timber, Calafiori. They're going to win the league again. And I think this time they're going to do it with ease, to be honest with you. I think it might be maybe 10, 15 points. I just think they're too strong. And I think they might have this I think they might win this year, next year. They're probably going to be a bit dominant, like Man City's era. So yeah, Arsenal win the Premier League. So that would mean Chelsea in 2nd. The reason I put Chelsea in 2nd is really like Alonso, 1 game a week, sign Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer. Morgan Rogers, Cole Palmer, and João Pedro is an amazing front three. Like, that is so good. Defensively as well, Lacroix's coming from Palace, brilliant signing. Palestra, Reece James, Caicedo. Yeah, they've got a really good team. They've got some world-class players or exceptional players. And I think Cole Palmer's going to have a really good year this year. I think it's hard to say because I don't know him, but it just looked like maybe Cole Palmer didn't have the love or the happiness and wasn't fully fit last season. I could be completely wrong, but that's what it looked like at times. Where I think now Morgan Rogers come in really good friends. Alonso, everyone will want to do well for Alonso. I think you're going to see the Cole Palmer of his first season under Pochettino, and I hope I do because I really like Cole Palmer. He's a brilliant player, and he just seems like an all-round nice guy as well. I like Morgan Rogers as well, same for him. Seems like a really nice guy. Pedro, he's going to be on redemption up for somehow not getting in that terrible Brazilian team. Don't know what Ancelotti was thinking, because he's their best striker, but yeah, God knows what happened there. But yeah, I think Chelsea will finish second. I could see City winning the league. I don't see Chelsea doing it. I think Arsenal will be your Premier League champions. But guys, that is my Premier League predictions. So if you agree, please let me know in the comments section. If you have enjoyed the video, please do me a massive favour. Hit the like button, hit subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next one.